Welcome back. You're watching the Evening Edit on the Fox Business Network. We're coming into the bottom of the hour. Let's welcome to the show retired Army Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano of the Heritage Foundation. Great to see you, sir. There's a Reuters report that China is now circulating inside its leadership an internal memo that warns about a worst-case scenario with the United States, that it could go into a hot war of armed conflict as anti-China sentiment around the world is the worst since the Tiananmen Square crackdown in 1989. Your reaction to this story?
Well, this is a very hawkish, super right-wing think tank that's affiliated with the military and the intelligence community. They're going to give you the most dire prediction you want, because that's what they've always been. America's going to attack us, get war. They're feeding the fear of the Chinese leadership. You know, I think a lot of the response of the Chinese to this virus isn't that they're stepping out and taking over. They're afraid. They're afraid what's done to the economy. They're afraid of their world reputation. They're afraid that somebody might take advantage of them. They're scared. And what this think tank is doing is exploiting that fear. But here's what I will say where they're deadly, where they're right on. They said this is the most anti-American the world has been since Tiananmen Square, and I think that's absolutely true. But the notion that somehow this is going to go to conflict between the United States and China, that's simply ludicrous.
You know, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin is saying, do not punish China right now. He's saying, basically, the trade deal has China buying $200 billion of U.S. goods over the next 2 years. Is there a way to de-escalate this? I understand the problems with the United Nations, but there's talk that the UN should pick it up. Probably won't go anywhere there. But the EU president is also saying, yes, do an independent probe. People at the UN are saying, do an independent probe of what happened with China. Your reaction to that?
Yeah, I tell them, follow Jim's magic formula. So there's 3 parts. Number 1 is getting the American economy up and running. That is the single most important thing. Nothing else matters. If we don't do this soon, we're going to have a depression, and the 1930s are going to look like the good old days. So number 1 is you cannot do anything to China that's going to interfere with rebooting the American economy. That's 1. Number 2 is, if you're going to do something to China, do something that doesn't make you feel good. Do something that hurts them. And investigating them with investigating the World Health Organization, investigating China, getting to the truth, that will hurt them. And I think the third thing is do stuff for the long term. China's not going anywhere. You don't want to just slap them and walk away. You want to put pressure on them that they feel that it's never going to go away. So I think if you hit those 3 policy priorities, then you have a good idea. Put it on the table.
The chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said today, indicated that it looks like the COVID-19 virus accidentally leaked out of the Wuhan virology lab. You know, the Five Eyes Consortium of Intelligence, the U.S., UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, finding that, yes, COVID-19, it was a scathing rebuke about China's handling of the outbreak, how reckless it was with its labs letting this thing leak out, that China denied and covered up human-to-human transmission, blocked and arrested whistleblowers, scrubbed and censored off the internet terms like SARS, basically anything with Wuhan unknown pneumonia, SARS variation, Wuhan seafood market. But the thing that is bothersome to many, Colonel, is that China, in the middle of doing all this, is accused of hoarding medical supplies before it told the world what was going on, including trying to get Gilead Sciences' patent on remdesivir. Your reaction to this?
Well, this is where I really think we've got to get beyond circumstantial evidence. I mean, this is a big bureaucracy. I mean, and who knows how these things are connected. There could have been one guy in one part of the government. I'm not excusing China, but there could have been one guy in one part of the government saying, oh, my God, we got to stockpile this stuff because we got a big problem coming. And he may not have been talking to the other guy in the government who says, geez, we're not going to tell anybody what we're doing. So we connect those dots. I don't know if we have the evidence right now to suggest that those dots are actually connected. But this gets to the point that you raised. How we have to deal with this is we got to pile on. We've got Five Eyes Intel. We've got to get everybody else to put what they know on the table to build a really strong case to get to what China actually did.
And we've got 10 seconds. Politico running out a story saying that the media in China is attacking Trump, calling him a blowhard. He's responsible for a terrible outbreak that's killing its own people, without Politico not reporting that the media in China is state-owned and state-governed and state-backed. Your reaction to that?
Dude, this is what the Politico said. They said Chinese Twitter is going after Trump, not telling people that Twitter is blocked in China. The only people that are allowed to get on Twitter in China are trolls for the Chinese government. So that's state propaganda attacking the president of the United States. And Politico is basically pretending like this is the Chinese people that don't like Donald Trump. Unbelievably bad tweeting. Ever. Is there
Colonel, great to see you. Come back soon.
Ever? Yeah. Is that a standard?
Yeah, okay. We got your point. Thank you for that.